to the come to Jesus moment with these turnovers, I mean, what can be done? I mean, are there drills you can do, or do you just talk about it, or what?
For our turnovers, yeah, we do drills. We do film. We talk about them. We run for them in practice. I mean, we've done about everything that I've ever done in my arsenal. Part of our turnovers are decision making. Part of our turnovers are execution. So that makes it even more difficult. It's not just one thing. It's all over the map. So, you just have to keep working at it. You absolutely have to keep working at it, and keep fighting it, and hopefully at some point it will click. It will make sense, and our players will understand the importance of it.
Is there concern on your part that they get what's going on here? I mean, because it's like you say, they're all over the map, but it's the same things that keep happening. Is that particularly frustrating for you?
Well, I think it's frustrating because the mistakes are over and over. It's you have a mistake toppled on top of a mistake. So I think for me also, I think our players understand it, but it just obviously hasn't hit the right chord, because I think they can control a lot of them. Maybe not all of them. I don't think we're ever going to be a zero turnover team, but I think they can control a lot of them.
It looks like teams are kind of picking you up around half court now. They're extending their defenses because they're seeing this is maybe a chance to make some hay with you. I mean, are there some things you can do there to help, or is this just that you've been working on that too, and it just isn't?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think we've had turnovers versus a lot of different defenses. We've had turnovers versus people sitting back in the paint. We've had turnovers versus people who pressured us. And then people that just play good, solid half-court defense. So I think for us, it's not necessarily what defense we're seeing. It's just us handling whatever area that is. There are so many times that we have an open man and we just can't hit the open man timing-wise and in execution. So, I think there's a lot of areas that we can grow. We've just got to, they've got to have a mindset that it's going to be as important to them.
Kellie, Tennessee LSU games are absolute brawls. I mean, that's just the nature of the matchup. You guys have had one heck of a week, and you're coming in to this game on very short rest. LSU's had a week off, of course. How have you tried to manage that with this team in terms of making sure they're physically ready for this game and mentally?
This week started with we're playing Alabama on a 3-day rest. Alabama's got an 8-day rest. And then we go out and play UConn on 2 days. Now we're playing LSU on 2 days. They've got a 7-day rest. So this week did not map out the way we would want it. It's really a tough week for our players. It's no excuses. We're asking them to come out and be great every single night. So, but because of those things, it's been really important for us to make sure we're managing them. Practice, we were off on Friday after getting in late from UConn. Practice on Saturday will be not super long. It'll be intense because we need to get after it, but let them sleep in a little bit more on Saturday than we typically do. So we try to do a few things differently to try to get them ready to go for this LSU game, because it will be very physical and tough.
This is also an emotional game. I mean, the Pat game, I mean, her voice echoes in the corridors of this arena. Her memories line the rafters. I know it's a personal game for you too, but it's also one you got to coach against Nikki, a former Lady Vol. Just what are your thoughts and feelings going into this kind of game?
Well, we're just coming off a game where there was a lot surrounding that game, and a lot of things outside of the actual game itself. And I'll be honest with you, it can be draining. It can be draining just going through all that, and we'll have a little bit of that for this game. I mean, the emotions, you'll expend a lot with emotions this game, and we hope that all those emotions can motivate us, and we can channel them in the right direction. But there will definitely be a lot going into it.
Kind of slipping a little bit on rebounding. Is this just an effort thing, or what? It looked like Connecticut just wanted the ball maybe in some instances more than you guys did.
Well, one of my concerns was at Florida, we didn't rebound as well as I'd like. Statistically, Florida does a really good job on the boards. We didn't do a great job against Alabama in terms of how we normally play. Obviously, don't do a good job at UConn. So that's 3 in a row that I've been a little disappointed in. And, I think there was a definite change of attitude by Connecticut in the second half. You could tell they were flying to the boards, crashing the boards. We were a step late. We weren't recognizing to get the box outs. And then we just didn't have the energy and the gas, it looked like, offensively to get in there. We've got to do a better job there of understanding that's part of who we are. That's our game. And, we're going to we still work on it in practice, but it was definitely on my mind today to make sure that it was another emphasis for us going into this LSU game.
Not that it would be any less special otherwise, but how much does it add to the We Back Pat game that both coaches are Lady Vols?
Well, I think it's special. I think it's unique. I think, as former Lady Vols, I think we appreciate that. In my previous stop, we would play a lot of times our We Back Pat game against Jody Adams, former player, and I always enjoyed having them over there because I know how much it means to them. And I think our fans can also appreciate seeing a former Lady Vol on the sideline.
What is that? What does it just mean as a whole to you? We kind of talked about it the other day a little bit too, but just the day as a whole.
Well, I think it's, our one day to specifically lock in to Pat and her foundation. Here at Tennessee, I think we do that a lot. I think we do that often, probably daily, if you want to know the truth. So, but I think it's great. It's, awareness, and it allows us to keep fighting for her and keep her memory and her legacy alive, hopefully with the younger generation.
What's a quick scout on LSU? What challenges are they going to present tomorrow?
Their tempo is slow and grinding. They don't quick shoot the basketball. They do a great job on the boards. Defensively, they change up their defense. They make things hard for you. You start worrying about what are they trying to do instead of playing basketball. You just don't get anything easy against them, defensively or offensively. And I think, a lower possession game, it becomes physical, and board play becomes even more important.
So since you've been here, has there anything that Pat did as your coach that kind of echoes that you kind of resemble here?
Like for me that I do?
Yes.
I don't know that I've gone away and said, let me try to be Pat in this, or let me try to be like Pat. Other than, early on in my career, I felt like she had a classy program, and I wanted to always mimic that. And I always thought she was very poised as a coach and was able to give her team a lot of confidence because of the way she handled herself and how she handled big moments. And the other thing that I'll always remember about her is utilizing her staff. My sophomore year, I was sitting out with an ACL, and I remember her turning to her staff and saying, "Help me." If Pat Summitt can turn around and say, "Help me," then I know I can as well. And I think it's important to utilize the folks that we have over there.
Has it set in yet that you're standing on the same sideline in the same spot, same chair, whatever it may be, coaching that she was?
Now sometimes I don't really think of it like that, but when you put into context, when you strip it all down and realize you're right where she was, it can be a little humbling, so to speak. I had an opportunity to coach against her a couple of times, and I felt like that was humbling, being on the same court as she stood up. I thought that was pretty humbling, but you just have to do your best to go out and make her proud.
Thank you very much.